Hello everybody, my name is Dalton Hopkins and today we are going to be taking the look at The Lure of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Let's not waste your time, let's get right into this. It all begins in the cutscene of the beginning of the chapter. We get dragged by Catnap into this little crawl thing from Project Playtime, and then Catnap tosses us into it. This is also our first look at Catnap. We fall down into this red room, which is the garbage disposal, where we are about to get crushed, but we go through this little Pacific part of the place and then find a little beam to go up through and find these three pillars that we have to perfectly time in order to survive. And then after that we do a bit of wandering all around and also a bit of doing a little bit of parkour. After a bit of wandering, we find the purple hand, which is one of the brand new hands in chapter 3. This hand allows us to bounce super high and it makes it easier to get to higher obstacles. Then we walk into the poppy gas, which is the gas Catnap can produce, and then we have a nightmare about Huggy Wuggy coming back in a more nightmarish form. Then we walk into this room with a TV of Huggy Wuggy on it, which then changes to a nightmarish version of him. And And then after we see Huggy Wuggy crawl out of the TV and start chasing us through a tunnel, but in the end there is actually no way of escaping him, and you're basically supposed to die in this part and let the nightmarish Huggy Wuggy go ahead and eat you. Then, after a bit of wandering, we get attacked by Kissy Missy, but then get saved by Poppy. And then we get a bit of a lore drop in figuring out that Catnap is the last obstacle the prototype has sent out. Then we head into a school where we get chased around by Miss Delight, who is a school teacher that's gone insane and trying to kill us. We wander around trying to escape her, and in the end, we crush her with a door. More of a vent. The little thing from chapter 1. We crush her with that, inevitably killing her. Then after that, we get chased around by these mini plushy versions of the smiling critters that try to kill us, and we get to really see how creepy they can be later on in this chapter. But for now, they just look sweet and innocent and can't do anything. But trust me, you are not going to want to know what they do to one of the characters later on. Which is this part where we watch the smiling critters crawl into Dog Day's skin and eat him alive and control him like a puppet, which is probably one of the saddest and craziest deaths I've ever seen in this game. After this, then we get chased by the giant puppet Dog Day, and we have this little chase scene of him trying to catch us and us running away from him. But in the end, we don't actually end up killing them, more of just escaping by using the purple hand to bounce away from them and go through an elevator, sort of thing. Then basically, we don't know if Dog Day was just left there to die, or if they're still in control and are just still looking for us. But all I gotta say is this was probably the coolest part of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 until I decided to watch the entire chapter instead of doing my playthrough, since that would mean Poppy Playtime versus FNAF plushies 3 would take forever. And then after that, we inhale some of the gas Catnap breathes out after opening the door, which turns him into a nightmarish version of him. And then he starts following us up the elevator. Which after that leads us to the boss fight where we have to defend off Catnap for about 8 to 9 minutes, which all I gotta say is this boss fight is probably one of the longest boss fights we have in Poppy Playtime right now. But to be fair, it is quite a cool boss fight. Being chased around by the nightmarish version of Catnap is pretty cool. Then we pick up a super electric hand and shoot it at Catnap, which causes him to burn himself alive, which is pretty shocking. And then after Catnap gets literally cooked, the prototype appears out of nowhere. And for some context, the prototype is Catnap's god. And then Catnap gets up to pray to him, but then the prototype stabs him in the mouth and collects his corpse and just heads off into the bright light with his corpse. Which I have a theory he will, well, obviously 100% have Catnap a part of him. And then at the end of the game, Poppy shows us the Hour of Joy tape, which shows us all of the monsters we faced. Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, Boxy Boo, Catnap, all going on a rampage and killing everyone that was in the factory. And then we head into a little vault-like thing with Poppy, and then we hear screams and cries from Kissy Missy outside of it. And I have a theory that either Dog Day possessed by the little smiling critter plushies, or it could be the prototype attacking her. Anyways, that is all for now. Dalton Hopkins, bye bye.